Hello, YouTubers out there. This is Jerry Saravia at the movies. So let me preface this by saying something very specific with regards to AI. Now, I don't in general agree with AI or using it. I think in some areas it may have a purpose. If you're using it to write a book, I don't think it's right because it generates it all by itself. Not sure about that. With regards to making films, I think it's a good template. If you are interested in making films, and you have no way of really doing it, and you want to present something that shows what your vision is, I don't think it's a bad thing to use. It's a tool. However, using AI to complete somebody's vision from 80 years ago, I'm not too sure about. And of course, that is something that's being considered. So, there's an Amazon backed company. They have an AI platform called Showrunner, and they will generate footage that recreates sequences removed from what was considered Welles's unfinished masterpiece, The Magnificent Ambersons. Now, some of you may be aware of this. Magnificent Ambersons is a picture that was taken away from Orson Welles by RKO Studios. They basically destroyed Ambersons, as Orson Welles put it. They took out, I believe, 40 minutes of the film and junked it, presumably. But there is some other information here. Now, at the time that this was happening, Orson Welles was in Brazil, and he was making a film for the Good Neighbor policy under FDR. It was called "It's All True," which later did come out in the early '90s, I believe. So the studio, when he left, Magnificent Ambersons hadn't been finished editing yet. So that the idea was Welles could come back and finish editing Magnificent Ambersons in South America. So apparently they betrayed him and never gave him a shot at it. According to RKO memos and cables, two groupings of Ambersons footage, 14 reels and another 10, as well as 10 reels of Journey into Fear, which was a separate film, were shipped to Brazil so Welles could edit the film. However, after a test audience reacted badly at a preview, RKO ordered a happier ending to be shot in Welles's absence, which is there to this present day in the existing cut of the film, and cut the movie down to 88 minutes. And the excised footage and the outtakes stored in RKO's vault were subsequently destroyed. Now, it's not clear why RKO decided to destroy it, other than they didn't want Welles to take that footage and sue them and I don't know what, and reshape the film the way it was intended. TCM had funded a September hunt for lost Ambersons footage in Brazil. This was in April of 2021. And a documentarian, Josh Grossberg, traveled to Brazil in September in search of this longer cut of the Magnificent Ambersons. His theory is that the 2-hour and 11-minute rough cut sent to Brazil could be in the hands of private collectors there, which is a possibility. So more than 2 years after Welles left Brazil, RKO instructed Cinedia Studios in Rio de Janeiro, which Welles used as a base in 1942, to junk the reels of Magnificent Ambersons and also Journey into Fear that were left behind. The Cinedia owner, Gonzaga, a film collector, notified RKO he had followed their orders. So during a trip to Brazil a quarter of a century ago, Grossberg met Michel de Espírito Santo, an archivist. And this guy claimed he saw a Welles print in a film can at Cinedia, although he could not confirm it was the Magnificent Ambersons. Okay, so this is kind of what the story is. So the archivist searched for it later, but it was gone. Possibly trashed or sold to a private collector. Again, this is according to this article on wellsnet.com. Now, Grossberg identified 4 private collectors who bought films from the Cinedia warehouses. The challenge, of course, was tracking down the film collectors or their families if they're no longer with us. And it's also worth noting that Ambersons had a different name in Portuguese, which was Soberba. And while Welles directed the film, he never starred in it, so it's possible whoever has the print in his possession may not realize its value. It's possible. So, this search started a few years ago and came up basically empty. Now, there have been some previous lost films that had been found. a 16 millimeter reduction negative of Fritz Lang's original cut, which I still have to see, the longer cut, of Metropolis, was discovered in Buenos Aires, Argentina, in 2008. I mean, considering the film came out in 1927, that's a long time. That's about over close to 80 years, or is 80 years. Then there was silent footage from Welles's 1938 stage production of Too Much Johnson, which turned up in a warehouse in Italy in 2008. A print of John Ford's 1927 comedy Upstream was found in a New Zealand film archive in 2009. I mean, it's maybe a matter of time before anyone even finds London After Midnight. Could be. I mean, who knows? There might be a print of it somewhere that somebody has that they don't realize. So anything is possible, but nothing has come up. Because also keep in mind, celluloid that's recorded on nitrate was utilized in Hollywood up until 1950. So before the acetate took over and was highly flammable. And nitrate wasn't easy to store as well. Archives in the United States usually keep their nitrate films stored at 40 degrees Fahrenheit and 30% humidity so they wouldn't deteriorate. Now, as this guy mentioned, Brazil is a tropical country, which it is, and quite hot and humid. So we'd be lucky if any archive or film collector unwittingly in possession of the print stored it correctly. So, as far as I know, this has obviously never been found. But using AI to reconstruct a picture is not sensible at all. Now, they have been using AI for Wizard of Oz. Some of you may know that they were showing the film at the Sphere in Las Vegas. So it's literally a 70 plus millimeter, 70-foot screen. I don't know what it is. I mean, it looks spectacular. I'm not going to say it doesn't, because it does. They really added a whole lot, and I guess it's three-dimensional, 4DX, I don't know, whatever the hell they do nowadays. So they have expanded the screen of the original Wizard of Oz. But what you don't realize, and what they fail to realize, is that Wizard of Oz, just in its original format, is still quite damn good. I mean, it's an amazing picture. Just the scene alone in Wizard of Oz, without digressing too much from what we're talking about here, where you see Judy Garland's character walking, and it looks like it's in black and white, or sepia tone, and then she opens the door, and it's all one take, and you see the colorful land of Oz. I mean, amazing stuff for 1938. I don't think you need to do a whole lot more. I'm not completely dismissing the idea of expanding the film a bit, but I don't know about this approach and using AI to do it. As I said, if you are a first-time filmmaker or you want to dabble into it and make a film, I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. But to take somebody's original vision, like Orson Welles, which is a very specific, eccentric type of director, one who famously said, I don't like to finish films. You know that any artist, at the last minute, they're going to go back and they're going to say, oh God, I should have done this and I should have done that. I'm not really done. I have to keep tinkering until I get it where I think it should be. How you could possibly duplicate that when the lost footage hasn't been recovered, and so you have no idea. I mean, you could go by notes and say, yeah, it looks like you wanted to shoot it this way with this type of lens or whatever, and cut it this way, but even then, using AI to reproduce something like that, it's not sensible. And so if you never find the footage, The Magnificent Ambersons is still a great film. I don't think it's really hampered by its happy ending. It's a very downbeat picture, no matter how you look at it anyway. It's not like it's sunshine and roses by the end of the picture. I wouldn't even, with the ending that was shot and not by Welles, it doesn't strike me as a very rosy picture. It's not. It's a pretty dark film. But obviously it changes some of the things that were originally present in the film without giving too much away. It's not a happy film, at all. I mean, neither is Citizen Kane. So I think if they never find the footage, then that's just how it is. But, I mean, someday they might. And then what? And then you've still got this AI construct, which makes no sense. So I don't agree with using AI in that way. I see AI being used for almost everything, including a prompt for your eBay listings. Like, you can't describe your own thing, your own product in your own words. I mean, you need AI to fashion this for. It's ridiculous, you know. So, uh, those are just my thoughts. What are yours? Do you think that this studio is doing the right thing by using AI to reconstruct footage from a film from 80 years ago under a director who's been dead for 40? I mean, it's crazy, you know. But tell me your pros and cons. What do you think? What do you think of AI in general? You know, AI has also been used, I think, for which I could care less about this, but it's odd, for some background characters. I think in a scene from, of all things, Jaws 3 in 3D for the 4K thing. I don't know. I had seen like a couple of clips. I mean, it looks silly. Why they even felt the need to do that, I don't know. But so it looks like it's sneaking into our cinema. But anyway, those are just my thoughts. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe and hit like. It's good for the algorithms. And if you're already a subscriber, thank you. And I appreciate all of you out there and hearing your comments, pro or con, doesn't matter. And that's all I got to say about Orson Welles' The Magnificent Ambersons. Maybe one of these days I'll look at the film again and review it, so and then talk about it more deeply. Anyway, so that's it. And this is Jerry Saravia at the Movies, signing off.